We had 192 ignition retries overnight. But this stinks on a Sunday. What a waste of time on a brand new boiler to have to be replacing parts with... Good morning. It is Sunday, January 14th, 2024. It's about 11 a.m. I am headed back to that install that we did on Friday. Mike was there last night at around 10 p.m. He called me. He was working on the unit and he wasn't able to get the issue resolved. He didn't have any of the parts for it. We keep the parts kit at the shop. And
at the light, turn left onto 147th Avenue.
It was late, so I'm coming there now after church. And see what happens. I brought that parts kit for the EcoTec 80 through 150C, as well as I'll have my manometer, my combustion analyzer. The current error that they're getting is an ignition fault, and then after that, if I could get that running, I had a no heat service call, emergency service, and I may have one more. I have to call the gentleman back and see. But hopefully I get to record something good. Okay, so I currently don't have technical support for this given that it's a weekend, but our gas valve needs to test out at 52 ohms, which it did not. We were reading higher than that. So, according to the manual, I replaced that gas valve on a brand new boiler. Now, that did not resolve the issue. We were still going out in ignition. However, we have good flame signal and we're heating. It's just like the flame suddenly stops. Our blower speed is testing good according to the manual. So next thing I did was I replaced the igniter even though we were getting a good flame signal. I don't know, maybe if it's intermittently cutting out. No change. I tested the ignition cable. Own that out. No change. I did combustion tests, high and low fire. My readings are down here, right where they need to be, within 0.5 inches, or within 0.5% on both our high and our low fire. So I have just replaced the main control board, which we have right here, and I'm testing now. So far, this is where we've been at. I haven't reset it since the last two, but with the board in, we're still only at that too. So far, we have not gone into an ignition retry or flame loss. So I'm going to keep going back and forth. Still no ignition retry. Flame signal 6.2. So we do have flame. Our flame stayed on as we transferred to space heating. Let's see if I transfer to domestic. If we cut out, it's looking like this may be a control board issue. It has not happened for me yet. I'm already farther than I've been prior. But this stinks on a Sunday. What a waste of time on a brand new boiler to have to be replacing parts with no technical support. Yeah, so far we are good to go. Now I'm running more water because I have this large hose than the system is even capable of heating. This is a 3/4 diameter all the way through. So if we look, we could see our flow rate. Which is 4 gallons per minute. And the water coming in is like 40 degrees, so bringing it up by 68, that's pretty good. Flame's still running. 6.4 flame signal. It's supposed to be between 4 and 8. No ignition retries, so yeah, I think that that did it. We had 192 ignition retries overnight. So it's pretty crazy. Thankfully, it looks like problem is solved.
Turn right.
Okay, so I finished up with that. I was there for quite some time. Let me see. When I texted the customer that I was going to be there. I have been there since 11, and it is now 12:44, so an hour and 45 minutes on a brand new unit. It's pretty absurd. And not having tech support and having an issue that's not listed in the manual didn't help. But I'm headed now to a furnace. I believe it's a furnace. We've been to the house before. It's a new homeowner. And Mike said that he replaced their furnace years ago. She told me on the phone that she just had her boiler replaced. I think that means she had her water heater replaced, but we'll see what happens when I get there. She said it was at temperature last night, and then it got cold this morning. The thermostat's calling. She messed with like the fan. I don't know, but we shall see. And it's snowing. I actually just finished up this next emergency call. Pressure switch was stuck open when the blower was running. The inducer was running on a furnace. So I just replaced the pressure switch so it doesn't get stuck again. Told her that, we don't have to replace it, but it's probably going to happen again. And she was like, no, let's just replace it. So I replaced it, did combustion analysis, and wrapping up here. Okay, so I am finished up. I gave a gentleman a call back who had left a message for emergency service. He said his carbon monoxide detectors on every floor went off last night. And he called a plumber in at 11 p.m. And the plumber came, took a look, said the boiler's working fine. It's an issue with the chimney. And he was wondering if we do chimney work. Told him that we don't, but I gave him a chimney company that we do work with. He's a really nice guy, and I've done work at his house before. But yeah, I told him if anything comes up, and it doesn't happen to be the chimney, to give us a call. I'd like to help, and he was appreciative of the call back. So headed home. It's 1:50. I've been out for about 10 to 11 to 12 to 1. It's going to be about 4 hours. And most of it was wasted on a brand new EcoTec that was broken. It seems a little bit odd. We had an issue with one of the EcoTecs we installed not long ago, not giving domestic water, but also not giving any errors. And then one of the EcoTecs that we installed had a dead circulator out of the box. And now we have this one. So that is 3 failures. I don't know if maybe I'm forgetting one, and there might be another one that maybe Mike fixed. But I don't know. We don't do installs every day, so for it to be fire department, we don't do installs every day, so for the few that we're installing to be failing is kind of a big deal. If we did an install every day with these EcoTecs, we'd have constant callback service calls then. So I don't know. We might try the Burnham Alta, because that really stunk to be dealing with that, and it wasn't giving any information in the manual regarding the error that was useful. It was saying, check exhaust venting, fresh air venting, check that the condensate trap's not clogged. It didn't give any useful information on things to check. So it was just like stupid. And I've been to a training class for these units. They've never mentioned anything like that. And I guess, I don't know. They should put in their check control board. I guess it's kind of a given, but you can't just check it. The only way to know if it's a control board is by either replacing everything else or by replacing the control board. So who's gonna replace the most expensive component first if it's an unknown? So whatever, we'll call Weil McLain tomorrow and try to get the parts that we use and let them know what went on. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Hopefully you enjoyed watching the video. Comment any advice or criticisms or feedback, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.